So today we're going to go over something that a lot of you have been requesting for a while now. It's going to be some basic bitch coin shit. So we're going to go over some basic coin sleights and fancy moves that you could use to impress your friends and family. So first thing we need is a couple coins. It's important that you take care of your coins. I like to put them in this little purse because I'm gay, but they do sell other styles in case you don't like my particular fashion. So we're going to use a couple $50 and a quarter. Now when it comes to coin magic, the type of coin you use is pretty much everything. So I like to go for quarters because they're organic, they're around, people see them often, and it's not something out of the ordinary. Now $50, yeah, they're a little bit more visible, but at the same time, if you take out $50 from your pocket, you probably suck dick. So it's important that you use something that's normal and not out of the ordinary like a quarter. However, for the purpose of this video, I won't be using a quarter. I'll be using the $50 because they're a little bit more visible. Don't think that I suck dick a lot, but we'll be using a $50 because you can see it better. Also, because I have a huge dick, I'll be putting the titles of the moves right here, right before I teach them. So in this case, the first thing we're going to do is a finger palm. This is one of the first palms to learn because it's one that you're going to use a lot. So you're just holding the coin with your ring finger and your middle finger. Notice you're pulling a little bit of pressure with the ring finger to hold the coin in place. Your whole hand isn't cramped up and looking like you jack off way too much. Also has the benefit of showing your palm empty, so you could show the spectators that you don't have a coin. Little do they know, it's hiding right there underneath your middle finger and your ring finger. So once again, you're just putting slight pressure with your middle finger and your ring finger. You're not putting your hand like it's holding a big black cock, and your hand rests naturally on the table, mirroring what the other hand is doing. With this palm, it's very easy to produce the coin by just pushing it up with your thumb. So if you go into your pocket and maybe palm it on the offbeat, you can go and reach under anything. In this case, you reach into your nephew's ear and pull out a coin like his uncle used to right before he raped him. Gay transition. The next palm we're going to do is the thumb palm. For this one, you are balancing the coin on your forefinger. You're going to bring it towards your palm and use your thumb to clip it between itself and the rest of your hand. So one more time, you are balancing it on your forefinger. You can use your thumb to hold it as well, and you are just going to bring that coin down onto your palm and use your thumb to clip it. Now this is especially useful when you're doing a transfer, which we'll talk about later, but the advantage of this palm is that when you get into it, your fingers are very open and free. The only disadvantage is that it looks like your thumb is slightly autistic because it's stuck to the rest of your hand. It has the slight advantage of being a little bit more loose than the finger palm, where you can only move a couple of your fingers. So the next palm is known as the classic palm. For this one, you're going to have the coin in the middle of your palm. You are actually going to use the muscles in your hand to hold the coin in place. Now, the initial instinct is to cramp your hand up like you have some sort of syndrome. However, with practice, you'll be able to hold the coin in place when you turn your hand over. So you're just using the slight muscles between the pinky and the thumb to contract and hold the coin in place. The advantage of this palm is that it's very open. You're able to gesticulate with your hands, and you're not going to be as cramped as with the finger palm or the thumb palm that we discussed earlier. There are a couple different ways to get into this palm. My preferred method is by starting with the coin at your fingertips, and then if you just bring this coin down to approximately the center of your palm, it should be in the area where your thumb could actually hold it in place and seem a little bit more natural than the other palms. As I mentioned earlier, this palm leaves a little bit more action with your fingers. You could be holding stuff, you could put something in your hand, maybe you could finger a couple people with this hand as well, but the point is that it's very open and you could produce coins with this palm very easily. I'll show that on another video. So those are the three basic bitch palms that you need: the finger palm, the thumb palm, and the classic palm. Once you master those, you'll be sure to get all the panties wet. Now, of course, there's a back palm, and then there's this other one that looks like some sort of gang sign, but we won't be going over those because those are just impractical as fuck. Okay, maybe the back palm has a couple uses that are practical, but this other gang sign bullshit is only good for YouTube videos that are probably on train tracks or whatever the fuck gets a million views these days. It's also important that when you're practicing these palms, also learn how to transition between them. So go from finger palm to classic palm, maybe go to thumb palm, but it's important that you're able to transition to these palms easily from one another. The next important move is known as the false transfer. For this, you're putting a coin in the other hand, making it disappear. Spoiler, it's always in the other hand. So for this one is the one that I use the most. This is using the finger palm. It's actually not as difficult as it seems. The first thing you're doing is you're holding the coin with your thumb. Now you're going to combine two different actions to bring this whole transfer together. The first action is the thumb holding the coin as the right hand turns over and pretends to deposit the coin in the left hand. So all the right hand is doing is just holding the coin with your thumb and turning face down. That's all it's doing. Now the left hand, what it's going to do is just as the hand closes, just turn the wrist. So as the hand closes, you're just turning the wrist. So if you combine both actions together of this left hand turning and closing and this right hand just depositing the coin, it puts the strong illusion that you put the coin into the left hand. I'll show this move one more time for the 3% of people in New Zealand. So you are holding the coin in your right hand, you're just using the thumb to hold it in place as the left hand closes and turns the wrist. Also notice the right hand drops to the table naturally. It doesn't deposit the coin and drop to the table like you just raped a small child. It just naturally drops to the table while the left hand makes some sort of faggy disappearing motion and you show the hand empty. So if you combine both moves of just the right hand turning over and holding the coin and the left hand just turning the wrist and closing, you have a very nice false transfer that you can get away with. So of course you need motivation, because if not, they're gonna go to where the coin is. So your motivation could be a pen, it could be another coin, it could be a small child, it could be anything that gives reason for you to hold the coin in your right hand and put it into the left hand. So in this case, I need to grab the pen. So the natural movement is for me to put the coin into my left hand as I grab the pen. Whatever object it is, it's important that it's in the same area as the hand that needs to transfer it over to the left hand. So if you want to transfer from your right to your left hand, the object needs to be near the right hand. So in this case, you can do whatever, but even though most of the participants are autistic, if you don't have the right motivation for putting the coin into the left hand, they'll catch you every time. So the next transfer is the thumb palm transfer. For this one, you are just putting the coin into thumb palm as you do the same false transfer we discussed earlier. But to get into a little bit more detail for the West European you're putting the coin into your left hand, you're clipping it with your thumb at the same time that you pretend to put it in your left hand, and your hand does the same rotation we talked about in the other palm. The last one uses the classic palm. For this one, it's going to look the same as the other ones, but your hands are a little bit more free. So to begin this transfer, you need to hold the coin in the middle of your palm. Now you're going to bring your ring and middle finger down as you turn your right hand over and pretend to bring the coin down to your fingertips. What's really happening is that the coin is staying in classic palm. So when you bring your left hand open, you could pretend to drop the coin in there. However, it's been in classic palm the entire time. This one has a little bit more of a natural feel because it just looks like you're bringing the coin to your fingertips and then putting it into the other hand. So practice doing it for real a couple of times, and then when you do the fake one, make sure that they look the same so you can actually get away with it. So those are 3 different palms and 3 different transfers. First one is the finger palm transfer, then with the thumb palm, and lastly with the classic palm. You can use them for different tricks or different contexts, but they all work extremely well. Now of course, for some potential tricks with those palms, first thing you need is a pen and a coin. So for this trick, the coin starts in finger palm. You can do this in your pocket. You can have this as you're taking out the pen, and this is where we begin. So you say that, look, do you want to see a trick? Look, listen. Do you hear that? There's a coin in my pen. What are you, gay? You can't hear it? Of course, at this point, what you're doing is that you're just slapping the coin in finger palm with the pen and bringing it to the ear. So after you do that, you're just going to uncap the pen. Stay, motherfucker. Okay, it's there. So you're going to drop the coin from finger palm onto the table or your palm, and that's going to create the illusion that it came from the inside of the pen cap. So one more time, you are holding the pen with the same hand as the coin, and you are letting it drop to make it seem like it came out of the cap. You let them examine the coin to make sure that it's not one of these special fancy coins. Then you could put the coin back in the pen and show them that, look, it's back in the cap. What? F yeah. So to do this, of course, you're doing a false transfer. After you drop the coin onto the table and let them examine it, you are doing a false transfer onto your left hand and grabbing the pen with the same hand as the coin and pretending it to smush the coin back inside the cap. At this point, you could uncap the pen again and pretend to have some sort of difficulty as you drop the coin. And when it finally does drop from your finger palm, they will definitely react because you have managed to not only take a coin out of a pen cap, but put it back in the pen cap and drop it again. If you know how to do a back palm of coins, you could do it at this point as well to make it look like the coin came from the pen cap from an empty hand. So that is more convincing, but a little bit more advanced. We'll get into that in another video. And if you guys leave some fresh comments below, I'll definitely do a tutorial for more advanced moves with a pen and a coin, or maybe do some more advanced coin tricks. But the main point is that once you go over the basics, you can get into the more advanced shit, such as that, and hopefully get all your participants moist. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're having crippling depression, I hope this at least make you forget about it for a little bit. I'm gonna go jerk off with my dirty ass hands.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.